What's up in War Eagle War Report family? It's your guy Ike Jones, and we're back with another morning drop. Today, it is Facts or Not Friday. We're going to get in here and answer your Facts or Not questions live. Y'all know how we do right here, War Report style. Let's drop it on them.
You are now listening to the War Report.
Morning drop. It is Facts or Not Friday, January the 26th. Hopefully everybody's having a good day. We're going to get in here and do all of the things we need to do to handle your questions live here, Facts or Not style. Hopefully everybody's week has been well. And let's get in here and get to these questions. Before we do, you guys do the necessary. Go out there, share the video out there on social media at the War Report. Hashtag get your weight up. I don't know why I'm pausing on that, but hashtag get your weight up. Like the video and subscribe to the channel, and we appreciate all of that. As always on Facts or Not Friday, we're going to go and look back at the ones from last week. We didn't do any Twitter questions this week, so we're going live with all of your Facts or Not straight through today. But I'm going to look at last week's questions to see how we did on Facts or Not last week, and then we will get straight into the ones you have here live on the broadcast today. But let's get straight to it, man. Last week, get it started. The question here was Facts or Not, Auburn will name their new DC by January the 27th. And that's tomorrow. I'm hoping the answer to this is still yes. I was hoping the answer was yes last time. And, ooh, man, it's been too long, man. I feel like at first I was like, man, we got time. Look, man, let's just go ahead and make this happen. I'm saying make it happen like it's easy for me to, I'm not the one having to do the interviews or vet people and all that kind of stuff. I do feel as if they were close and then some stuff got gummed up in the works. So I don't know, man. Tomorrow will be the deciding factor as to whether or not this one is Facts or Not. So right now it's still nah, but hopefully by the end of the day today, tomorrow, we'll get there. The next one here was Facts or Not. Cam Coleman leads Auburn in touchdown receptions. Still too early to say on that one. I think I said nah on that one, so we'll see how that plays out. Facts or Not, both men and women make the Sweet 16. It's yet to be determined on that one. Still a long ways off. Facts or Not, Auburn lands another Bama transfer. This has proven to be a nah so far. We'll see where that goes. I think we're leaning further into now, even though I said facts on that one, but we'll see where that one goes. And Auburn beats broken, ugly Ole Miss by 15 points. That one turned out to be facts. Actually, wait a minute. What was the score in that game? Yeah, we beat them by 15. Yeah. Well, yeah, facts on that one. Ole Miss took the L. So we'll see what happens with the other Mississippi school this weekend. But that one turned out to be a fact. So all good on this Facts or Not from last week. We are going to get over into the ones you all have for this week and see what y'all are talking about. Going straight through, no Twitter questions this time. Going straight into your questions live here. And we'll get it off. If you guys didn't see the pinned message, make sure you put Facts or Not in at the beginning of it. Makes it easier for me as I'm scrolling through to find the ones that are actually asking Facts or Not questions and the ones where y'all are just talking to each other in the chat. It makes it easier for me. If y'all can help me out a little bit, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to help me, but it'd be helpful. If you want to get your question answered, it's the best way to do it is to put Facts or Not at the beginning of it. Hashtag Facts or Not even better, so I can sort to that. Anyway, Dana Jones jumps in. Facts or Not, Chris Kiffin will be announced as the new DC this weekend. I think we get a DC announced this weekend, whether it's Chris Kiffin or not, I don't know. But you're asking me Facts or Not. I would lean towards Chris Kiffin as the reasoning why it's been so long. I mean, we could have hired DJ Durkin or Arnett before now. So I'll go with Chris Kiffin and say facts on this one. I don't have any intel to suggest it. This is just a gut feeling that Chris Kiffin was the guy that was wanted the entire time, and they had to get through the process with him. So I'm hoping that that's what pans out to be, and will be announced this weekend, because that will get me a fax on the 27th, and it'll get me, well, if it's tomorrow, not Sunday, but it'll give me a fax with it happening by the 27th, and it'll give me a fax on this one with Chris Kiffin giving the DC. So we'll go 2 for 1 with that one and say facts on this one. The Walker Show says, all facts or not, Auburn will bounce back and beat Mississippi State on the road. This is a tough one because when I looked at the schedule, I thought Mississippi State would be a road loss for Auburn. I thought that would be a tough game. Um, Mississippi, I looking at this team now, I think that teams that shoot the three well are going to be the teams that pose Auburn the biggest threat. When you look back at that Baylor game, it was their ability to shoot the three at clutch points that actually helped secure that victory for them. App State shot the three well in that game. Mississippi State's not as good a three-point shooting team. So I am going to go with the facts on this. Auburn gets their next road victory against Mississippi State. I'm going to go facts that they're going to bounce back and get this dub on the road against them in this game. Steph Trail says, facts or nah, Walker White outshines PT in spring. Peyton Thorne has not proven to be great in practice so far. I don't think that he performed particularly well at Michigan State in practice, which is why he was moving down the depth chart there and felt the need to enter the transfer portal, as it looked as if he wasn't going to be the incumbent starter there at Michigan State in year 3. But this is more of a question for me, not about how well I think that Peyton Thorne is going to do in the spring, because I think he'll do fine. It's about how well I think Walker White comes in initially doing during the spring. And outshines, I think, is going to be subjective because, listen, depending upon the source, Holden Geriner was the most impressive quarterback last spring. So it's not crazy to think that a younger player could outshine Peyton Thorne during the spring. I'm going to say he doesn't get outshined by a true freshman, though. If this is the case, then Auburn's in a very tough situation because I think that would mean Peyton Thorne's probably the number 3 guy on the depth chart, because I do think that one of those other 2 guys will do better than Walker White. So if he's better than Peyton Thorne, then that means Peyton Thorne is at best 3rd on the depth chart. And for the sake of my preference, it being a more experienced quarterback, I'm going to go nah on this one. This isn't about what I think Walker White is or Peyton Thorne. This is just kind of wishful thinking on my part. I am not a guy that's just like, oh, yes, Peyton Thorne, he's going to be the savior of this program. I'm just hoping that Peyton Thorne turns the corner and becomes a productive quarterback for this team. I don't know how it happens based upon what he's shown so far. That's hope and wish more than anything based upon history or reality, any of that. So I don't want a true freshman to come in and outshine a 4-year starter, man. I just don't. I need Peyton Thorne to step up and make it happen in this final year, man. So I'm gonna go nah just off of that. That's it. I ain't got no logic, no reasoning other than that. And I know I'm going to get crucified in the chat. I haven't even looked at the chat to see what y'all are saying about my response to that. Mike Brown jumps in. Facts or not, Auburn has a DC by the end of the weekend. We've already kind of talked about this one. Jonathan Boyce, in facts or not, PT gets outplayed in the spring game by at least 1 QB. Y'all are making me talk quarterback on January 26th in the spring. I mean, I don't think that that's crazy to think. If Peyton Thorne has a firm grip on starting quarterback, then he's not going to play a whole bunch of snaps during the spring. If it's still very up in the air, then you'll get to see an equal distribution. But I hesitate to answer questions about the spring until I know what the format for the spring game is going to be. And if it's going to be the same kind of thing that we did last year, I don't know how you can say who outshines who. And then the weather and all that kind of stuff was crazy last time. It looked like Robbie Ashford was the best quarterback coming out of the spring last time, but it was mostly because he didn't throw the football. Not to say that Robbie couldn't throw, but just saying that if you're talking about utilizing your legs better than other quarterbacks, then Robbie's far and away going to be the best guy in that scenario. Sure, he gets outplayed by at least one other quarterback. I could say that. There's 3 other guys in contention there. One of them could outplay Peyton Thorne. I'll go facts on that. JJ Brand says, facts or not, we beat the Turds by double digits in Neville. I actually believe this to be true. That I haven't done a review, and maybe I'll do that at some point today, just because I was at the game, so I was traveling post game when I would typically be doing a post game recap. I haven't done a recap on that game, but I'll say facts of this. Stay tuned for my recap as to more in depth reasons why I feel that this is true, but I'll go with facts on this one. Steph Trail jumps back in. Facts or not, we have a freshman start again on the defensive front. Freshman starter on the defensive front. So this is a difficult question to ask because I don't know what our defensive front is going to look like. I'm assuming it's going to be a 3, and it depends on if you count the jack linebacker or that outside linebacker or that rush end, whatever you want to call it, depending upon the defensive philosophy as a defensive front. Then I would say nah on this, actually. Start. I mean, and then again, I have to clarify, when I say start, I mean game 1, starting reps, first snap. I don't think that it's going to be a freshman that's going to be doing that. You still have Keldrick Falk that's going to be there. You still have Jason Jones that's going to be there. You've got Quintrell Jamison Travis that's going to be there. And this is all barring any sort of offseason injuries. And then you've got Jalen McLeod that's going to be there. I think that that is your presumptive starting front right there. With, maybe some other mix in of like a Trill Carter or a Gage Keys in there potentially. So I don't think that a freshman is going to start over any of those guys absent of injury. So I will go nah. Game 1, start 1. First play defensively, you will have some other mix of veteran guys in there doing the duties there. All right, let's see what else we got out here. Quite a few reactions and or facts or nahs here. Let's see if I can find another one. Eric Montgomery, facts or nah, Peyton Thorne is still the starting QB when we finish the season. That's a long ways out, Eric. It's a long ways out to be trying to make predictions. I will say, again, this is wishful thinking. This isn't. I know you want, like, I don't want to see us have to change quarterbacks midseason for any reason. Injury, poor play, none of that. I want to start the season with a guy, end the season with a guy, and that guy do admirably in that job. Because today, January 26th, y'all are asking me to make predictions about what's going to happen in November. Because today, I think that Peyton Thorne is still the presumptive starter. I'm going to go with facts. He's going to start because I want to see the same guy start the entire season. So I'll go with facts today. This answer could absolutely change as the realities change around what we see. But for today, I'll say facts. Let's see what else we got in here. Derek Anderson, facts or not, with the men's basketball loss earlier this week, Auburn will not drop lower than 12. You beat a top 25 team for one portion of the week. You lost a quad 1 on the road to a tough opponent. Yeah, I think they could stay in the top 12. Top 15 is probably a little more likely. I'll go facts on that. Top 12 is because of the combined win and loss there. Top 12, yeah, sure. Well, I'll go facts on that. Let's see. Chris S., facts or nah, Trey Fecta, I like what you did there, takes the starting point guard position back before the end of the season, not injury related. I'm going to go nah on this. I think Coach Pearl is okay with the minutes that he's getting from Aiden as a starter. Aiden hasn't proved to be a starting liability. I think that the difference is that Trey is probably going to need to be the closer right now because Aiden hasn't proven to be like far and above anybody else as far as the guard play in closing out games. I think he's pretty good with the starting lineup that he's rolled out there. We haven't really gotten off to slow starts, so I don't see a reason to change your starting lineup any. I'm going to go nah on this one and say that Trey will continue to come off of the bench and be more of a closer. As far as his minutes are concerned, I think he's actually averaging more minutes per game. So rotation's fine right now. I don't see any reason to make any adjustments to it. I'll go nah. Ben Bloodworth, facts or not, Auburn beats Mississippi State by double digits. Double digits road win against Mississippi State. That's going to be tough. I mean, listen, so far this season, it has played out that if Auburn wins, they're going to win by double digits. Auburn has not won a contest where the final score was within 10 points yet this season. And they need to get one of those. They need to get a road win where it's close, where you find a way to close out a team on the road. True road game, not neutral site, road win. But actually every dub, not even any win this season for Auburn has been double digits. I want to say facts on this just because I think that they're double digit better than Mississippi State. But I'm going to go nah just because I want to see them win a closer game. I want to see them win a 10 or less contest at some point this season. Chris S. Facts or not, men's basketball finishes January 2-0. So remaining games in January are, you always ask me this schedule question. You asked me this last time, and now I got to go find the schedule so I can know what the heck I'm talking about. The next game is Mississippi State, of course. What is the final game for Auburn men's basketball? Vanderbilt. Nope. Yes, Vanderbilt. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, I think they beat Mississippi State and Vandy. Yes, facts on this. Facts on this one. Let's see what else is out here. Steph Trail, facts or not, if we score a touchdown a quarter, we will finish with 10 wins this coming year. So you're talking about averaging 28 points at minimum. If this team scores an average of 28 plus points per game this season, will they win 10 games is the question. I'll go facts on this. I think our defense is going to be good enough to not. 10 wins, though, means you only drop 2. Will there be 3 games in which your defense gives up more than 30 points this year coming up? Ooh, that's tough. That's actually tough. Trying to think about offenses that we'd have to play against. I don't know what LSU's quarterback situation is going to be like, so is their offense going to be as high-powered? We don't even play LSU this year. What am I talking about? That doesn't matter. You're going to get Oklahoma, who can put up points. Are they going to score 30 at Jordan-Hare? You play Georgia. You play Bama. Don't know what Bama's looking like right now. Vandy just got their quarterback of the future. And, golly, it's so frustrating. I'm going to go nah. I'll go nah. I mean, that's a lot of points to give up, but I think that you do give that up in a couple of contests based upon the schedule. I'll go nah. Prince_Major says, facts or nah, 4 freshmen will start game 1. 4 freshman starters in the starting lineup is, let's see here. Let me think about freshmen. Potentially could start a freshman at safety. I don't think you're going to see a freshman. I just talked about defensive line. I don't think you see a freshman at linebacker. Don't think outside corner will be a freshman. Offensive line. Ooh, that's an interesting one, whether or not we start an offensive lineman as a freshman. Potentially, game 1, wide receiver, you'll probably get at least 1 there. I don't think we get to 4. I don't think you get to 4. 2, maybe 3. I don't think you get to 4. Not for right now. I'm going to go nah on this one. I don't think you get to 4. Daniel Owen, facts or not, Walker White is the number 2 QB coming out of spring. This is a possibility. That he could be the number 2 quarterback. I'm actually going to go facts on Walker White being the number 2 QB coming out of spring. Out of spring. I would say going into the season, that's facts. Coming out of spring, I don't know. Ooh, that's different. Coming out of the spring, I think he could still be down at 3 or 4, based on him having to have time. It's gonna be a new system for everybody, but I think that you no, I'm gonna go nah. I'll go nah on this coming out of spring. He won't be QB2. Let's see what else we got here. You guys have some really good questions this morning, and I appreciate it. While I'm thinking about these questions, I definitely got to make sure that I don't overlook that. Rogue Shop is the sponsor of today's morning drop. Make sure you hit them up, Rogue Shop. Use code RAPPORT when you do that. Get a little something off of your purchase. That is sleep, stress, pain, anxiety. Relief is there for America's #1 online dispensary. That is the Rogue Shop. Hit them up using code RAPPORT, and we certainly appreciate that because you're supporting the people that support the War Rapport. Let's get back over into your questions here, facts or nah, and let's see what else we got out here. I don't see a lot more. Let's see, Chris S., facts or nah, men's basketball finishes 14-4 in SEC play. So 3 more losses in SEC play with this. I could potentially see a loss to Tennessee on the road. I could potentially see a loss to Ole Miss on the road. Potentially, not saying it definitely will happen. Chris, man, I don't know why you always have to make me pull up a schedule when you ask questions, bro. Like, I don't know what it is about. Like, you got South Carolina at home. Florida on the road is tough. Kentucky at home is tough. Missouri on the road is tough. Can they drop 3 of those? I'll go facts on this. I'm actually hoping it's only 2 additional losses, but I'll go facts that they'll drop 3 more. Derek Anderson, facts now, Auburn drops Under Armour. Right now, it's looking like nah. But I'm good with my fan heart. I'm going facts on this because I just want to see them pivot into something. And whether people believe that this matters or not, it absolutely does for recruiting purposes. I just don't think Under Armour is an attractive brand for some of these recruits to get like free. Like, because again, you're getting free merch and stuff like that with, and the Under Armour brand just doesn't really elicit that for people. I just, and listen, I know I'm talking bad about the people we're currently under contract with, but I don't work for the university. I can say what I want to as a fan channel. I just think that one of the other brands is going to be better for that. Let's see here. Daniel Moultrie, facts or nah, Bama doesn't land any transfers from Michigan. I think this is absolutely a nah. Bama will get Michigan transfers in. If there are Michigan guys that hit the portal, at least one of those is going to land at Alabama. This is going to be a nah for me. Let's see here. Daniel Moultrie jumps back in. Facts or not, Cam Coleman wins the Biletnikoff before he leaves Auburn. This is going to be more about whether or not we figured out a passing attack. I need to see the passing attack look like something before I'm like the last couple of seasons. I have gone into this season talking about how Auburn's going to break and get the 1,000-yard receiver, and the passing attack is going to be back in full effect. I have not seen a competent passing attack at Auburn, and so I don't care how talented the wide receivers are. You need to block it up well, and you need the quarterback that's going to deliver it consistently. Until I see Auburn get a 1,000-yard receiver, I am going to go nah on this, and I think that has nothing to do with the talent in the wide receiver room. We've had 1,000-yard receiver talent in this wide receiver room for the past 3 seasons, and we haven't gotten it done. I need to see it before I believe it, and I'm not going to do this one with my heart. I'm going to go with my head and say nah on this. That could change, and I could be wrong on this a year from now. But as you're asking me today, I'm saying today, nah. Let's see here. What else we got here? Daniel Owen says, facts or nah, Thompson gets more snaps next season than Coleman. I'll go nah on this. I think that Cam Coleman starts earlier and plays more um, than Perry Thompson does. I think Perry Thompson is physically the better athlete, but because he's coming in later, I think Coleman is he's kind of the prototype of what Coach Hugh Freeze wants to do as far as catch radius, all that sort of thing. And I've probably said that a couple of different times. This won't be the first time you've heard me say that. And I think that because he's here in the spring, he gets the edge on being able to get in there early. And I don't think that he disappoints. So I'm going to go Coleman more snaps. Let's see here. Ben Bloodworth, facts or not, Jalen Williams' performance in the Bama game is an outlier, and he returns to his earlier self. I think he did in the second half of that game. He was more like his earlier self this season. So I'm going to go facts on this. I think he woke up second half of that game, and he played the kind of basketball that he's been playing for the majority of this season. I will continue. I think that trend continues for Jay Will this season, so I will go facts on this one. A few other ones in here, but they're kind of like, ooh, here we go. I like this one. Uncle Derek, facts or not, we have different kick returners next year. So I'm assuming you're meaning this coming season. Right now, Brian Battie is still on this team. He came back out of the transfer portal. I think that he will continue to be the kick returner. Along with him, that was a rotating door between Sean Jackson and Cobb. I think there's a chance that you see Malcolm Simmons in this role this season. I'll go facts on this one just because I think the person who's going to be alongside Brian Battie, I think that he continues to be the primary kick returner, is going to change. So I'll go facts that there will be someone else that will rotate in there. Not to say that Sean Jackson will never do it. I think that he might continue just because I think they like what he presents as an extra blocker. But as far as I think somebody else like a Malcolm Simmons could potentially get some early snaps as a guy that will be a kick returner. So I will do that and say facts. All right, that's it, man. I'm going to get out of here. I appreciate you guys jumping in, Facts or Not style with me. Again, Rogue Shop is the place you need to go. We got a lot of anxiety around the fan base, around a lot of things. Rogue Shop's the place where you need to go to be able to get the relief for that. Make sure you use code REPORT when you do that. Like the video before you get out of here. Subscribe to the channel and share the content with somebody. We'll be back at you guys at some point today. I'm going to try to get a reaction thing for the Bama game out here for you guys in Lobtown. So make sure you stay tuned for that. So much more on the horizon. We got game tomorrow, so we'll be doing a Lobtown for that, and I'll have reactions for you after that. But until the next time, and as always, War Eagle.